In modern times, Sir Francis Galton of England was one of the key figures in the development of mental measurements. At the turn of the century, Galton tried to demonstrate the hereditary basis of intelligence. His work triggered a long tradition of controversy over the relative contributions of heredity and environment to intelligence. The other great early figure in assessment was a Frenchman named Alfred Binet, who published the first workable intelligence test in 1905. Binet's test was devised to measure intellectual performance of school children, so that teachers could classify and separate retarded children from normal ones. The test was meant to replace the teacher's more subjective and often biased evaluations. Binet believed that his test scores were only a practical estimate of current performance, not a measure of innate intelligence. He believed that test results should only be used to help identify those areas in which children needed special help. But the educators who administered his test rarely made these distinctions, as we'll see later. The key to Binet's approach was the quantification of a student's performance. First, a great number of children of various ages were tested, and an average score or norm was obtained for normal children in each age group. Then an individual child's performance was compared to the average score for his or her age. Test results were expressed in terms of mental age. When a child's score was average for a group of 5-year-olds, then the child was said to have a mental age of 5, regardless of his or her actual chronological age. Nowhere did Binet's test have a greater impact than in the United States. Millions of people were streaming in from Europe and Asia, and a vast public school system was emerging. How could the mental abilities of these newcomers be assessed? And there was also a flood of recruits enlisting in the army during the First World War. They too had to be tested for intelligence and aptitude. Assessment was being seen as a way to bring order to a chaotic society. An inexpensive, democratic way of separating out those who could benefit from education or military training from those who were deemed incompetent. Eventually, there was a growing acceptance of the idea that intelligence tests could be used to differentiate people in terms of their leadership ability and other socially important characteristics. And there was also growing attention given to alleged intellectual differences according to race and ethnic background. Statistics were used to support bogus arguments that blacks were inferior, as well as immigrants, like my grandparents and perhaps yours,